Let me tell y'all something. See, every now and then in history, a storm brews, a fire rises, and the world starts to shift. And when that shift comes, oh, you better believe there ain't no stopping it. Now listen here, I ain't talking about just any country. I'm talking about a land with over 1 billion dreams, a culture older than time, and a hustle you can't match. I'm talking about India. India ain't rising. It's already arrived. For years, the world labeled India as a developing nation, a country with potential, always almost there, but not quite. Attempt. But let me tell you something real. India doesn't need to wait for anyone's validation anymore. Those days of standing at the sidelines, watching the so-called superpowers take center stage, that's over. India is not a rising star in the global sky. It's the sun itself, shining with intensity, resilience, and unstoppable energy. This isn't about catching up anymore. It's about leading, setting the tone, and commanding attention. Just take a look around. The signs are everywhere, in the cities, in the villages, in the startups, and on the global stage. India is not quietly climbing the ladder anymore. It's leaping across barriers. This is a country that launched a mission to the moon on a fraction of what it costs Hollywood to make a movie. And it succeeded. It's a country where young entrepreneurs from small towns are building billion-dollar companies out of sheer grit and intelligence. It's a country that's gone from outsourcing services to now exporting innovation, creativity, and leadership. What people used to call chaos, we turned into hustle. What they saw as noise, we made into momentum. For every challenge, India found a way, not by following someone else's rule book, but by writing its own. And while the rest of the world was sleeping on this nation, India was busy grinding, working late, coding harder, dreaming bigger, and refusing to settle for less. Look at our youth, the youngest population in the world, full of ideas, ambition, and digital fire. These aren't just kids with degrees. These are minds with vision, with the hunger to disrupt, innovate, and shape the future. And they're not asking for permission anymore. They're claiming their space, making their mark, and pushing the limits. Whether it's AI, space tech, medicine, or green energy, Indian talent isn't trailing, it's trailblazing. You see, there's something deeper here too, something rooted in the soul of this country. India's rise isn't just economic or technological. It's spiritual, it's emotional, it's historical. We've carried the weight of colonization, partition, poverty, and still stood tall, still smiled, still shared, still moved forward. And that legacy of resilience, of bouncing back no matter what, is now turning into a force the world can no longer ignore. India is not looking to copy models. India is becoming the model. Whether it's leading digital payment revolutions, building scalable rural infrastructure, or sending satellites into orbit at breakneck speed, the world is now watching and learning. No longer are we just the audience to the global narrative. We're writing our own chapters in bold letters. And we're making sure everyone reads it loud and clear. So the idea that India is still emerging, that script is outdated. India has emerged. It's here. It's now. And it's moving like a force of nature, steady, strong, and unshakable. The conversations are shifting. The tables are turning. And finally, the spotlight is where it belongs. In India, we've never had the luxury of waiting around for perfect systems or ideal conditions. We've had to make things work. And not just work, but thrive. That's where Jugaad was born. It's more than a word. It's a mindset. It's the fire that drives millions of Indians to turn limitations into solutions, tempt scarcity into strength. Where others see obstacles, we see options. That's how we survived, and now, that's how we're leading. Jugaad isn't just a quick fix. It's the spirit of creative resilience. It's the mother who turns a broken cycle into a mobile cart to feed her family. Tempt. It's the village teacher who uses chalk and a mud wall to explain rocket science. It's the startup founder who builds a tech platform in a single room with one fan and a 2G network. This kind of ingenuity doesn't come from comfort. It comes from a relentless desire to move forward, no matter what. And that's exactly what India has done. But something has shifted. That raw, street-smart innovation, that genius born out of necessity, has evolved. It's grown up. It's entered labs, offices, classrooms, and boardrooms. Today, To attempt. Indian innovation is not just about making do. It's about making breakthroughs. From biotech to fintech, from grassroots engineering to global software, India isn't just catching up. It's creating the blueprint for the world to follow. And what began with Jugaad is now turning into globally recognized genius. Just look at our digital revolution. In less than a decade, we've gone from one of the most disconnected countries to one of the most connected. The UPI system alone is a masterstroke of innovation, one that even developed nations are studying. We didn't copy this from Silicon Valley. We built it in our way for our people, and now the world is noticing. That's not just tech. That's genius with a purpose. And it doesn't stop with the urban elite. Innovation in India flows from the ground up. Farmers using drones to monitor crops. Women in self-help groups creating sanitary products with biodegradable material. Local engineers developing solar solutions for off-grid villages. These aren't just heartwarming stories. They're evidence of a nation that knows how to think differently and, more importantly, act decisively. Our education system, once seen as rigid and outdated, is undergoing a silent revolution too. Young minds aren't just memorizing anymore. They're questioning, experimenting, and building. The rise of robotics clubs in government schools, the increase in rural hackathons, and the boom in student-led research projects all point to one thing: a country awakening its creative core. And when a billion minds start thinking not just why, but why not, the world better take notice. Corporate India is riding that same wave. Indian CEOs are no longer just operating businesses. They're reimagining them. Companies born in India are solving global problems with uniquely Indian thinking. Whether it's cutting-edge vaccine production at scale or developing green mobility at half the cost, Indian businesses are proving that high-quality innovation doesn't need to come with a high price tag. It just needs commitment, vision, and heart. And we've got all three. There's a quiet confidence building now. It's in the way our students present at global science fairs. It's in the way our engineers crack patents and push frontiers. It's in the way our artists blend technology with tradition to create new forms of expression. We are no longer waiting for permission to innovate. We're no longer asking if we're capable. We know we are. Because for India, innovation is not imported. It's inherited. It's who we are. To attempt. In a world where too many people wait for the perfect moment, perfect resources, or perfect connections, India stands apart. We are a people who've learned to hustle, to build to rise, not because everything was handed to us, but because we chose to make things happen. Our story is not built on convenience. It's built on courage. To attempt. Opportunity hasn't always knocked on our door, but that never stopped us from building the door ourselves and then opening it wide. Look at our streets, our startups, our slums, and our skyscrapers. There's a common thread that runs through them all, a spirit that refuses to sit still. Tempt. Whether it's a chaiwala who becomes a successful entrepreneur or a student in a remote village who cracks global exams without coaching, it's the same energy. We don't wait. We work. We create and make the impossible seem normal. This mindset is deeply rooted in our culture. From ancient times, India has been a cradle of creation. In mathematics, philosophy, medicine, and art, our ancestors didn't wait for outside validation. They invented, discovered, wrote, and carved out ideas that shaped human civilization. That legacy of proactive excellence is still alive today, not just in textbooks, but in the streets and stories of modern India. It's in the coder who teaches herself programming from a phone. It's in the auto driver who builds a social media channel to support his family. It's in the local artisan who sells globally through digital platforms. The common theme is this: if the door doesn't exist, we build it. If the road is blocked, we find another path, or we dig one. India's young generation embodies this fire. The world's largest youth population is not sitting idle, waiting for opportunities to arrive. They're creating them in lane, every laptop. Whether it's tech, media, design, or agriculture, young Indians are starting ventures, launching apps, scaling ideas, and turning local problems into global solutions. They're showing that it's not about having all the answers. It's about having the audacity to start. This same spirit is transforming industries. In traditional sectors like farming and textiles, Indian minds are introducing smart solutions, merging ancient wisdom with modern science. In high-tech spaces like AI, space exploration, and clean energy, Indian innovators are not just participating, they're leading. The Chandrayaan missions, developed with limited budgets but unlimited determination, didn't just show the world what India can do. They show what happens when you stop waiting and start building. Even our most challenging times, this mindset has been our anchor. During the pandemic, while the world's India pivoted, factories were repurposed overnight, oxygen systems were designed in days, and vaccine manufacturing scaled at an unimaginable pace. It wasn't luck, it was mindset. It was people refusing to sit back and hope and instead choosing to act, to create and to rise. This energy is not limited to the privileged few. It's spreading from metros to tier 3 cities, from educated urban centers to undeserved rural belts. The internet, smartphones, and a new confidence are empowering people across the spectrum to stop waiting and start doing. Social media influencers, digital entrepreneurs, craftspeople, tutors, all finding their own way, building their own platforms, making their own space in the world. Because in India, success isn't about where you start. It's about how hard you're willing to push forward. Our time has come not because someone gave us permission to attempt. It has come because we seized it with bare hands, bold dreams, and a belief that we could shape our own future. Thing to attempt. In the heart of every great movement, every game-changing era, there's always a spark. And for India, that spark is its youth, with over 65% of the population on the age of 35. Attempt. We are not just a young country. We are the youngest country in the world with one of the most powerful demographics on the planet. But this isn't just about numbers. This is about energy, vision, drive, and an unstoppable hunger to redefine what's possible. Attempt. India's youth isn't sitting back and scrolling aimlessly. They're building. They're questioning. They're dreaming at a scale the world hasn't seen before. This generation grew up with smartphones in one hand and big ideas in the other. They aren't asking what the future holds. They're busy designing it. From coding apps in small towns to launching startups in garage rooms, this generation has flipped the script. They're not waiting for the right job to show up. They're creating new industries altogether. This isn't just about urban India. This energy is rising from the ground up. Rural youth armed with connectivity are tapping into global knowledge, getting skilled, and taking charge of their destinies. Whether it's a farmer's son becoming a youth educator or a young girl from a village running an e-commerce store from her phone, the traditional barriers of geography and class are breaking down fast. Talent no longer lives in silence. It shouts, it shows up, and it shines. India's youth is not only digitally native, it's emotionally fearless. They are not satisfied with Chalta High anymore. They want impact. They want meaning. They want change. They're pushing back against outdated systems and standing up for what matters. Whether it's climate change, gender equality, or mental health, they are driving conversations that were once whispered. They're not afraid to challenge. They're not afraid to lead. Go into any hackathon, tech fest, campus competition, or social enterprise meet. You'll see an army of youngins building ideas that were once seen as impossible. They are not asking how things used to be done. They are asking how they should be done. And that mindset, that's revolutionary. From AI to blockchain, from agri-tech to space research, India's youth is showing that innovation doesn't need to come with a foreign label. It can grow right here, powered by raw ambition and rooted brilliance. And it's not just about tech. It's in the arts, in music, and content creation. Look at the explosion of digital creators, story comedians, filmmakers, musicians, all building loyal audiences, influencing millions, and expressing the soul of a new India. This generation isn't waiting for a studio deal or a publisher's nod. They've taken the mic, the camera, the keyboard, and they've built their own stage. Education, too, is transforming because of this youth energy. They are not content with rote learning anymore. They want hands-on problem solving, real-world impact, and global exposure. And they're getting it through online platforms, international fellowships, startup ecosystems, and cross-cultural collaborations. This is no longer a generation limited by boundaries. They are global citizens with local pride, and they're using that duality to build solutions that are both scalable and soulful. The workforce is changing too. Young professionals are no longer just job seekers. They're change makers. They're demanding purpose in their career, disrupting traditional models. They're more agile, more collaborative, more tech savvy, and more fearless than ever. Whether it's in the gig economy, social enterprises, or corporate leadership, young Indians are rewriting the rules and setting new standards. This youth power is not a ticking time bomb. It's a nuclear reactor already in motion. It's lighting up cities and towns, fueling industries, shifting mindsets, and putting India on a trajectory the world can't ignore.